Hello and welcome to Husky Talk. I am your host, the best podcast host in the universe, Steve Cully. I'd like to thank our sponsors at Procyon Partners. They are one of the top 50 fastest growing companies in the nation. They specialize in employee benefits, wealth management, and retirement planning. President Sean Rabinowitz, proud supporter of our podcast network and everything we do. We love him very much. Green Street Trust International, owned and operated by UConn football legend Rennell Jump. They specialize in tax plans for businesses large and small. They will save you money or get you a big fat return on your taxes. To schedule your free strategic tax planning session today, go to www.greenstreettrust.com. Pete Finch and the Finch Law Firm is out of Bridgeport, Connecticut. If you've suffered any type of personal injury, a slip and fall, a car accident, your mother-in-law ran you over with her car, your wife decided to stab you, the Finch firm is for you. Pete has won legal battles all over the state of Connecticut, and he will go to war for you to get every dollar deserved in compensation. Always remember, when you're in a pinch, call Finch. And to contact him, just reach out to thefinchfirm.com. Dynamic Human Performance, owned and operated by UConn legendary running back Andre Dixon. Andre trains boys and girls of all ages, of all sports, and he works with them depending on their ability. He will get the most out of them, and he has been doing this at a state-of-the-art 5,000 square foot facility in Hartford, Connecticut. He just announced a new boot camp program where if you want to get in shape, you go to Andre. He also has an athletic development program where he takes boys and girls, whatever their sport is, they pick one of them. He trains and develops them from the ground up and helps them reach their potential. Andre has sent boys and girls to college on scholarship for all different types of sports. To work with the best, work with Andre, go to www.dynamichumanperformance.com. Julius Williams runs the Trench Mob in Decatur, Georgia. He trains offensive and defensive linemen. They compete in 5 versus 5 tournaments, offensive versus defense. They're timed rounds, and you have 4 seconds to get to the quarterback, and there's points awarded. Julius and his Trench Mob has gone all over the country, and they were undefeated this past season. They also go to college camps and do the college camp circuit. Very proud to say every college camp they attended, a member of the Trench Mob was awarded a college scholarship offer. So if you want to work with the best, work with Julius and his team. Go to www.battleofthetrenches.com. Our newest sponsor, Luther James Insurance, which is owned and operated by James Whitfield. For 3 years now, he has devoted himself to the art of financial services. It is not just a career, it is a passion. He works on insurance policies, mainly life insurance, and retirement planning, because he knows how stressful the thought of retirement can be, and fear of the unknown is real. So to work with James, you can go to his website, lutherjamesinsurance.com, and he will talk with you and give you a quote. So we're happy to have him aboard. And now for the man of the hour, very happy to have him on board. Been harassing him for probably 2 years and managed to get him, Mr. Afa Anoia Jr. I said it right.
Yeah, we're close enough. We're close enough. We're good.
We're close
That
enough.
thing's been butchered over the years over those PA systems.
I'm terrible with pronunciation. So, thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us on Husky Talk. And I'm just like I'm a super fan, and I've always said it. I truly believe your family lineage is by far the greatest wrestling family in the history. I mean, you guys have done it all. So I truly believe that, and it goes from top to bottom. But to start, I was kind of surprised to know you were actually born in Hamden, Connecticut.
Well, I was born in New Haven at Yale.
Oh, no, okay,
but I lived in Hamden.
Yeah. I was shocked to hear that. You were in Hamden because I spent some time down there. How long were you guys in Hamden for?
So that was back when my dad was still with the WWF back in the day.
Okay.
So
that was like 84.
There, yeah. And exactly 84. That's when I was born. So we were there, and that's the infamous backyard that all the Samoans talk about. That my dad had the ring in, and that's where he trained Yokozuna and Rikishi and Samu and the whole bloodline from there. So we were there for a couple of years, and then we moved down to Allentown, the area, which Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. That's where my mom's originally from.
Right.
And that's where WWF was doing a lot of TV tapings out of Ag Hall in Allentown.
Correct.
So it was just 10, 15-minute drive from Bethlehem. So it made sense for them to make the move. And we've pretty much been in Pennsylvania. I mean, we've moved, back and forth throughout the years through college and stuff like that. And I moved to Florida when I was in WWE. But we've been in Pennsylvania since. Well, I'm the last one left now. Right. Everybody else, all the other Samoans in Pennsylvania have moved on. But I'm the last one left here. So yeah, we're still in Pennsylvania.
I forgot. My condolences on your father passing. He was a legend. That was again, my condolences on that. They were trailblazers, and today I'm in mourning myself because I'm a diehard Hulk Hogan fan.
Yeah,
that was tough to see.
Yeah,
but I mean that's
too. And Hogan actually came to one of my birthday parties when I was a kid. So,
oh my God! Well, Hogan, he was close with them.
He was one of my dad's guys, and so it sucks, Rest in peace to the Hulkster.
Oh my God! He came to your birthday party. Jesus. Well, it's the industry, like they say, it's not ballet, and it's going to damage your body.
Oh yeah.
And it's, guys are lucky, to live into their 70s, to live into their 80s because of what you guys put your body through and not having health insurance and all that. So I completely understand the trials and tribulations of being an independent pro wrestler, because as Kevin Nash always used to say, you're a 1099. That's your business. That's your business.
That's true.
But did you grow up? Because I know your cousin obviously was a football star, ended up going to the U. Did you grow up initially liking football? Did you play early on, like in the Pop Warner age, like 8, 9, 10?
So my football story is kind of movie-like. So I played 1 year at like the Pop Warner level.
Okay.
Only 1 year. And there was a girl that started over me, and I couldn't figure out how to beat this girl so I could start. So I would always ask my dad, "Hey Dad, how do I beat this chick? There's a girl that's starting over me." And I, you know what I mean? And he was like, "Well, this is what you do. It's football, right? So go in there and bury her every play."
That's all you can do. Yeah.
So that's what I did, man. I put my head down and I ran this chick over every single play, and then she would cry and I'd have to run laps for it.
Of course.
Oh man, that sucked. So I didn't play anymore after that 1 year because they let a girl start over me that I would run over at practice.
Well, let me ask, was this in Connecticut?
No, this was in Pennsylvania. This was in Pennsylvania. So I literally didn't play football until 10th grade.
Oh, okay.
So in 10th grade is when I started playing football. The coach,
and you picked it up that fast.
Oh, I after one season, I had a Division I offer to Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
I was committed to Pittsburgh after one season.
I read.
Yeah,
I read. Yeah,
I hit the road running because I turned pro wrestler at 13. So I
I read
always,
that too. I
yeah,
read you were in a battle royal, 13,
yeah,
14 years old.
in
I
Austria.
can't even imagine that.
Nobody speaking English, you
Did
know.
they?
So,
I mean, were you? Obviously, you're in a pro wrestling family. Were you itching to get into that ring and learn
no,
early on, or
so
they
it
think?
kind of just happened. Like I've
Okay,
always been in the ring. Like my kids are always in the ring because it's there,
yeah,
it's available. It's like going in your backyard and not jumping on the trampoline.
right,
You know
right,
what I mean? So it's always
right.
there. So I've always been in the ring and I've always dabbled a little bit. Like I learned, my dad taught me how to take bumps and stuff like that
So
very
they
early.
didn't push you. It
No,
was you who. Okay,
my dad wanted me to be a kid first, and
yeah,
he always wanted me to go pro in ball. You know what I mean? So
right.
I always promised him like, yeah, I'll give it my all. Like, so early on, I was really the best at baseball. That's where I excelled the most at was baseball. Like I was a pitcher who batted cleanup. You know what I mean? I was like Otani, very young. But
Yeah,
then I had an
yeah.
eye injury, so then I had a hole in my macula, which took away all depth perception, so I couldn't hit
Oh
the
my
ball anymore.
God.
And as
Yeah,
a baseball player, you can't hit the ball, you're done.
yeah.
You know what I
I
mean?
couldn't
So
hit a curveball.
that took baseball off the table. So then I tried basketball. I was kind of too big. I would foul out of every game. You know what I
That's
mean?
like me. I did the same thing.
And that kind of didn't work. So then I stuck with wrestling. I was
Yeah,
wrestling. So I turned my first match was the summer between seventh and eighth grade. You know,
right. The battle royal was it?
yeah. So my
Yeah,
dad ran a tour over in Europe, and we were in Austria,
yeah.
and we were there for like 3 weeks, and we were just promoting. Well, my dad was promoting with my brothers and stuff like that as the head shrinkers, and they were promoting, doing all the talk shows, all the newses and stuff like that, and they were promoting this event. And I got to know this kid named Chris, who is still a wrestler named the Bambi Killer, Chris Raber.
That's that is a great name, by the way.
Yeah, yeah. So he
Baby
spoke a
killer.
little bit of English. So it was like his first match too. He was like 17, I was 13. And I was pretty much bigger than everybody. I was 6'2",
Yeah.
190 pounds at 13. I had a little crustache going, so I kind of passed for an older guy. And I begged my dad, like, Dad, all right, I
Just
know
like throw
enough.
me in there. Yeah.
I know enough to get through a match. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I've been wrestling Sean Maluda and Lance Anoia, my whole life, in the backyard and basement and stuff like that. So I knew enough how to get through a match. So my dad made me train. He was just like, son, if you want to do this, you have to train.
You got to do it right. Yeah.
You can't just go in there. I was just like, all right, bet I'll train as soon as we get back. Just let me do this one match. So I'm being a spoiled brat. And my dad was like, no, you have to train. So if you want to do it, go get your brothers. So my brothers were downstairs in this hotel that we were staying at. And
Yeah.
my dad made me bring my brothers upstairs, and then he moved all the furniture out of the hotel suite. And literally like just floor. So then there's my brothers, the head shrinkers, Samu and my brother Lloyd, and they're hip tossing me and back dropping.
And you're taking bumps
arm
on
dragging me, and I'm learning how to bump on a floor. Who knows what the people on a couple floors
we're
down
hearing. Yeah.
So I had a crash course in I had like 3 days of real intensive training in a hotel room where my brothers just beat the crap out of me.
Of course they are. They're going to take it easy on you.
I didn't want to do it anymore. After that first day, I told Dad, all right, never mind.
I'm good.
I'll go back to playing Little League, Dad. And then he looked me right in my face and he goes, son, it's too late.
Yeah, you're in.
now we need you because I already booked you on the show.
Right.
So now my spot's there and I have to do it. You know what I mean? So I kind of learned the business the hard way about like commitments and honoring your commitments early on, so I learned it very, very early from that time.
And that makes all the difference in the world. If you have that trust, you have that loyalty with promoters, they're obviously going to be more confident in booking you because they can rely on you.
Right.
You're not going to cancel at the last second. You're always going to show up. So for football, you played in 10th grade. And, I had read this. I didn't even know you were on Tom Lemming's list.
Yeah.
Is one of the best defensive players in the country. And he is he's probably the top evaluator of recruits. That's no easy feat to achieve. So would you attribute that? I mean, you're clearly a natural athlete who can do anything. Did you think you got pretty good coaching at Freedom? Because it's funny you say, I was at a family reunion. Most of my family is from Easton, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And my cousin went to Freedom.
Yeah.
He was 2 years ahead of you, but
Okay.
he knew of you, obviously. And I know that is a top program. So do you think you got good coaching there?
Oh, absolutely. My coaching was outstanding. So when I first started, it was Coach Malosky, who ended up leaving for Parkland and who ended up winning state championship over us. So I hated that. So our counter was we signed a state champion winning coach out of Allentown Central Catholic, which was Jim Morgan's. So it was just like, all right, we lost one top tier high school coach and we got another one. And they were two completely different, coaching styles.
Yeah.
Coach Morgan's and his crew were so old school, and they, mother F you all the way down. But they took a 2-win program and took us to districts in 1 year. You know what I mean? So it was like they knew what they were talking about. So it was a hard transition because I had 1 year with Malosky, and then he left, and we had the new coaches coming in. So I had that 1 year of transition year, which was my junior year. And then senior year, it was just like we had states on the mind, and like collectively as a unit, and we had a bunch of studs. Like our one DN went to Michigan State, our offensive tackle went to Syracuse. We had a couple kids that went to like Delaware. You know what I mean? Like we had a bunch of players on one team, which was pretty rare in high school. You know what I mean? Usually you get 1 or 2 D1 guys throughout the years in programs, let alone on one team. So I was recruited really heavily coming out of 10th grade. I was running ridiculous numbers. I was running like a 4.40. You know what I mean?
For your size, that's incredible.
220. And I was raw talent, and they saw it, the coaches, because I had no idea what I was doing. Like my first year playing, I blocked a punt that went out of the back of the end zone, and it was like a walk-off win. And we won the game by that safety. And I had no idea. I thought I
didn't know what happened.
Did not know what happened. I blocked it. I thought it was like when you tip the pass on a quarterback.
Yeah, it was done.
Like, damn it. I thought I didn't get it. And I ran off, and everybody else is going crazy. But I was clueless to the game that early.
Wow.
My goal was just to have sacks. You know what I mean? I just wanted to have sacks and create chaos in the backfield. And at that time, I was stronger than everybody because I was breaking all the records in powerlifting. I was squatting, over 650. I was deadlifting over 750. You know what I mean? At ridiculous numbers.
Yeah,
and
sure.
And I was fast.
Yeah,
and I credit that to me wrestling early, because me wrestling as a kid, it forced me to basically be a cruiserweight. So I had to be that Rey Mysterio kind of style where I'm doing moonsaults and I'm doing all this stuff. Mind you, I'm 6'3". I'm not a cruiserweight, but I'm light like one compared to the rest of the wrestlers. So it was like that's what kept me light on my feet, I feel like, for the gridiron.
And you're using different muscle groups, and that muscle memory that absolutely helped you.
Yeah.
So after you ended up going to the Fork Union Military Academy, you did it's very smart to do now. You did a PG year.
Right.
And so I always recommend
I got selected to the U.S. Army All-American game.
Yes.
So I played in that, and I had a solo tackle against Reggie Bush, so I tackled my Heisman Trophy winner. I did all this before college, you know what I mean? So I had offers rolling in left and right. And then I had to go to Fork Union because my GPA was trash.
Oh, it was your GPA?
It was my GPA. Like, I was a decent test taker. I could go in there. You know what I mean? However, I was a senior in high school. I was a pro wrestler. I'm the Rock's cousin. Like, I was on top of the world back then. You know what I mean? I'm an All-American football player. You know what I mean? Like, I was on top of the world. So I basically was just going to school to play football to remain eligible. You know what I mean? So I skimmed by. Like, I didn't think I was going to ever get a scholarship. And then when they started rolling in, it was just like, oh, shit, now I got some work to do. Yeah. You know what I mean? So rather than lose the eligibility by going to JUCO, I ended up doing the PG.
Very smart.
And so I wanted to keep all my years of eligibility. and see what happens.
Did you have to go? Because I know it's different at every prep school. Did you have to go the whole year, or did you go the fall semester and then
I
transfer?
went, so I was there for a year and a half.
Oh, okay.
I went a year and a half. So I basically did like a 5th year senior deal.
Right, right.
You know what I mean?
And all the academics were good, and that's what
Oh,
got
yeah.
you eligible.
Yep.
And
Everything
when
came
did you,
back up,
when
and
did
I
you
was
say
right
UConn
back in.
came in?
And so I was offered to UConn before I went to Fork Union.
Yes.
So that happened was should have never happened.
No,
Should
I
have
know.
never happened. I had some big offers, you know what I mean? And
Yes.
being an All-American and stuff like that, like I almost committed to Michigan on ESPN at the game. Like we were ready to rock. However, I didn't. I stuck at the time. I was stuck to Pittsburgh. So signing day comes around, and it was Coach Hughes was the defensive
Hank
coordinator.
Hughes. Yep.
Yeah, Coach Hank.
He's the man.
And so he was recruiting me heavier than anybody else on earth, and I got to liking this guy. You know what I mean?
He's not a warm and fuzzy guy.
No, I got to like
nice.
this guy. Now, mind you, I'm already committed to Pittsburgh, and they're not having it because they're going through the coaching change. They went from Coach Harris, and then they went.
Yeah, that must have been when they brought Lloyd Carr in.
Yeah, so they were going through a shift there. So it was just like not a good time to be there. Mind you, UConn just got Rentschler Field. It was the first year in there, and newest stadium, blah blah blah. And I knew I had a shot at playing immediately.
You play early on, yeah. that makes a huge difference.
So I took a visit. Now my mom went to UConn, right?
She did.
Yeah, my mom's a graduate from UConn.
Oh my God, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yep, my mom went to UConn, and so I told her, I was like, all right, I'll take a visit there. She's like, just go, see if you like it. So I was already committed. I had no interest in going to UConn at all. And I get there, and I'm hanging out with Alfred Finchard and Dan Orlovsky and all these guys, and it's like 2-3 in the morning, and we're all having a good time. And it was one of those shots where I was just like, hey, Dano, make this cup right here, and I'll call Pittsburgh right now and decommit. And it was just like he went from drunk to sober and immediate, and he just drained the cup. Dan. Place went freaking nuts. I was just like, oh man, now what? You know what I mean? Like, so I honored my word, and I called Pittsburgh, and I decommitted at like 3:00 in the morning, and I told them I'm going to UConn. And then those coaches were like having a heart attack because I'm a 4-star, 5-star recruit, whatever, All-American, and they're losing their mind because they're like, we don't lose anybody to UConn.
And they were on you were in 10th grade.
10th grade, you know what I mean? So they were pissed. So now I had Coach Hughes and the offensive coordinator from Pittsburgh fighting over me in my living room. It was a great time, but it was all because Dan hit a damn shot in beer pong.
Thunder Dan. Of course.
But yeah, that's how I ended up at UConn.
In the clutch.
Because Dan clutched it.
But I mean, you did like UConn. I mean, we were getting the indoor facility built. We had a lot of things going for us. We had success in the Big East. The 9-3 season, I think, was before you got there. And then you guys were on the team that ended up taking us to the bowl game, right?
Yep.
The Motor City Bowl.
Yep.
Yeah.
I played in the bowl game, and that's when I blew my knee out.
So what was that experience like? You know, you're obviously coming from a good program, and obviously Fork Union. You're a little bit older and more mature, but you're coming into college football. Was it a difficult transition, or did you feel like you fit in pretty easily?
I felt like I fit in pretty easily from the jump. So I came in for summer school, like, summer classes right before the season started. So I had a little bit of a head start with the program. So I wanted every advantage that I could get with the program because, you know what I mean? My focus was getting on that field.
Right.
It was all promised to me during recruiting, et cetera, but now I had to do my part. They did their part. They gave me the deal. Now I had to live up to my end. And I worked my ass off to get on that field. You know what I mean? And
Yes.
I wasn't stopping for nobody, and it sucks because my host at the time, Applebaum, I ended up taking his spot, and they moved him over to offensive line.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So it was just like, man, that sucks. This guy was responsible for helping get me to commit, and then now he's an offensive lineman. But it all worked out, you know what I mean? Like we all
he was good. He was good. And
yeah.
Tyler King wanted me to make sure I said hello to you.
Oh, that's my guy. That's my guy.
I do a show with Tyler as well.
Oh yeah.
He
No,
said
we
you were awesome.
that defensive line was
Oof.
different. It was different. It had me, Tyler King, Deion McPhee. You know what I mean?
McPhee. Yep.
We had some studs on that line.
Absolutely. That whole defense was good. And I mean, there were a lot of guys that ended up playing at the next level from that defense. And then, your experience throughout the season, you were playing, you were contributing, you were doing a lot, and, you won some big games, and we end up at our first bowl game, the Motor City Bowl. What was that experience like, going to a bowl game?
Man, that was awesome, especially being that it was historic for the university.
Yeah.
Our first ever bowl game coming from, Memorial Stadium. You know what I mean? And having team meetings in the trailers and stuff like that.
Yes, the modulars. Yep.
We were really grinding for that spotlight, because our mindset as the program was we didn't want to be a basketball school.
Exactly.
We didn't want to be known, like, granted, that's never going to happen. Like, we're always going to be known for basketball because they're great. However, we wanted our own identity. So we were kind of forging that with the talent that UConn brought on at the time. And yeah, man, we had a blast, bro. But we were built different. We were trying to take out everybody, and it didn't matter who we were playing, and we were trying to win them all.
Yeah, and it was fierce, and I thought that was the biggest difference. We were good. Coach Etzel was good at really developing talent. And the run really from when you got there to 2010, I mean, we had some more success than the basketball program. Mm-hmm. We were really getting there. And then when Coach left, that's when it kind of turned down. And now, it's picking up again on the rise. You win the bowl game. So I didn't know this. You blew out your knee.
Yeah.
Was it ACL, MCL? Was it everything?
It was the cartilage. I blew the cartilage out from my floating kneecap. So I was in like the fourth quarter. Like, we were blowing them out.
We were killing Toledo.
I shouldn't have been in the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it was one of those. I was about to get interviewed on the sideline, and all right, let's go, fourth down. And I was just like, fuck it, I'm going. You know what I mean? So I ran it on the field, and then I got high load by the kid who ended up going to the Patriots. And I ran off the field. I wouldn't get carted off. I ended up getting carted off the sideline. So I missed the whole celebration and everything. I'm getting MRI'd in the back. But so I after that I had to take the medical red shirt the next year.
Who did your surgery?
It was the Patriots doctor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was the Patriots doctor. I forget his name.
So they got all right. So they got to a good surgeon, and then you made the decision. Obviously, I want to start my pro wrestling career. I'm ready to go.
So to me, my whole goal always was the NFL.
Yeah.
And with my knee cartilage, I mean, the surgeon straight up told me, he was like, "I'd rather see you tear every ligament in your knee than have no cartilage."
Yeah. Well, it's wear and tear. I mean, bone on bone, that kills you. That's arthritis. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I really pushed myself to get ready for that next season. And in my mind, I was ready. I was good enough to go. But for some reason, they still redshirted me that year. And it quit.
You're saying 2006, you could have played.
I could have played.
They wanted to medically redshirt.
They wanted to redshirt me for the year. And that was like a huge kick in my nuts. Because
I
just came from military school, and like I had
you've already spent time.
Right. You know what I mean? So I got kicked in the nuts there, and then it was just, and even still, I was trying to win Scout Team Player of the Week so that I could travel every week. Like, I was really grinding to get on that field. Yeah. And it just never seemed to work. And then WWE calls.
Right. Because I think, did you go to Deep South first or FCW? Okay.
I went to Deep South first. Yep. And then I had to make a decision
Yeah, I mean, I would have made that decision too. That's pretty easy decision.
Well, so at the same time too, while I was there, I wasn't being the best student. You know what I
Well,
mean?
yeah,
My grades were suffering. Like I was kind of getting depressed. Like I was in my mind a lot mentally. You know what I mean? I'm watching my NFL dreams, slip away from me because, damn, my coaches won't even play me now, even though I'm still kicking ass. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm dealing with a lot mentally. He called and I felt it was just time to make that switch. So I called up Etzel and I was just like, hey, coach, you always tell us, the goal of college is to, get a degree, go out, make some good money. You know what I mean? And able to hold on to that. And I was like, I have that opportunity right now. So I appreciate everything that we're doing here, but it's time for me to go to the WWE.
Yeah, and you're older anyway. I mean, because the year and a half you spent at Fork Union, and it's 2 years later. I mean, you're in your early 20s. So
yeah, I was in my early 20s, exactly.
It's time. Yeah, I completely agree with you. And I have listened to shoot interviews with with Kurt Hawkins talking about Deep South and FCW. And I know there was a period where they closed Deep South and then everyone went to FCW. But how long were you at Deep South?
So I was at Deep South. I signed in October of 2006.
Right.
So I was there from that time until its closing.
Okay, until it's closed.
Yeah, I was the final main event in Deep South. It was me and Sonny Siaki versus Hawkins and Ryder. The Major Brothers back then. So,
yes.
Yeah, me and Sonny finally won a match because babyfaces always win in the South.
They always got to go over.
Babyfaces always go over in the South. So it was fine. We finally beat the Major Brothers. Your white meat babyfaces.
Yes.
Go figure. The company shuts down.
No, I heard that they were trying to move everything to FCW.
It was just a weird time because
the
office came in, with their trucks. So they pulled up with the trucks. We had a big meeting.
Hawkins said the story that Laurinaitis was like, it's time to go.
Yeah, basically,
whatever you want.
This is your last time in this building. We're going to take all our property now, and if you come back, you're fired. So we took all the stuff down, the banners, the rings. We emptied the building.
Yes,
and then we just left. And then he was just like, all right, go home. We'll be in touch within 2 weeks. So
I heard that.
So everybody was just like, oh, shit, now what? You know what I mean? So we all went home, and then we got the call. They split up the roster. So they wanted to send half of us to OVW, and then they sent the other half to Tampa. And Tampa at the time, there was nothing. They didn't have a building. They didn't have anything.
Right.
No lease with any kind of no building. Like we had no building when we first went down. I picked Tampa just because I didn't want to go to Louisville.
Nobody did.
Like, you know what I mean? Like I tried we went there for 2 weeks. I tagged with my cousin Rosie, but that ended up happening like while as FCW was getting started. So I picked FCW just because it was Florida, and why not? Did
you get to work with Danny Davis at all at OVW?
Yeah.
Did you like Danny Davis?
Danny was cool. Yeah, but Al Snow was more in charge when I
he was
in my loop there. Yeah, but I know Danny. You know what I mean? Like I know all those guys. But yeah, so we ended up going down to Florida, and at first we were training in a batting cage. It was like a softball, like little league batting cage, where the batting cage was on one half of the building, and then there were 3 rings on the other side of the building where it's people like me, Jack Swagger, Sheamus, the Bella Twins, like we're all training, Kofi Kingston, we're all wrestling.
Oh my God.
In a batting cage. And this is now, mind you, I'm used to this because I just came from a Division I program that had trailers.
Yeah, exactly. We had the
so I'm kind of used to this, So, but coming from the independents, I was wrestling some really high profile matches prior to me going to the WWE. So it was just like we had to start over. Like I went from bigger independents than what we were in FCW at the time, which was crazy to me because this is WWE. Were
you was that when Bill DeMott, was he one of the trainers at FCW then? Okay.
So Bill DeMott was the Deep South guy. And he ended up getting fired, and then Dr. Tom came on.
Dr. Tom
was in he was in Deep South for a little bit before they ended up shutting down, and Dr. Tom kept it all while I was there, and then Bill ended up taking Dr. Tom's job again, and then now it's Bloom,
Matt
so
Bloom, yes.
yeah.
Okay, I got you. So I know you were at down in FCW for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Were they putting on shows in different parts of Florida?
Yeah. So
Okay.
at that time they were building the territory.
Yes.
So we didn't have the building. So we were, we went from
there was
the
no
batting
full
cages until we went from the batting cages into the back of a Publix warehouse, so now instead of little leaguers, now we have canned goods. So we're wrestling for canned goods and no air conditioner or anything. And this was a building that they ended up buying and turning into the FCW arena that was down in Main Street. So I was there when that place was canned goods, and we had to share it with Publix, the warehouse. We had to share their bathroom with them, and their bathroom, it wasn't very big, and you had 50 wrestlers using the bathroom.
Yeah.
So there was always fighting with the building about the bathroom. But yeah, no, man, we had it rough. You know what I mean? No air conditioning. We had to, and Dr. Tom was old school, so he made us wrestle our 60-minute Broadway before we ever hit TV. So we had to wrestle our Broadway. Thank God I wrestled Tyson Kidd.
I heard he's amazing and
better than anybody.
Great producer now.
Oh yeah,
great job. And yeah, he was probably very easy to work with.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, because I've heard two different things. They sometimes want guys who have no experience,
right?
So they can mold them the way they want to, and other guys who have experience, like you, that already kind of know what they're doing, pick it up a lot easier, and they can put in the ring faster. Mm-hmm. Did you feel that your experience definitely helped you, or did they try to change things?
So I feel like my in-ring experience helped me tremendously be on the show level.
Yeah.
Because it's like my in-ring training wasn't as seasoned. So it's like playing, football, in high school and then getting D1 training. There's a completely different.
Sure. Right.
It's completely different. So I wrestled 9 years before I ever even got to the WWE level.
Yes.
And when I got there in my tryout and stuff like that, like they're drilling you with so much wrestling. They made me feel like I knew nothing about wrestling, and I'm bored.
Right. You got to run the ropes. You got to do all that stuff.
Yeah. So it's a system that you have to learn the way that they do business and the way that they expect their matches to be.
To perform.
So it's like basically going back to college,
Right.
And that's why it was easy for me to pick up, is because I am so hungry for the spot, not necessarily the spotlight, but I want my spot. Whether it be on football or whether it be in wrestling, like I'm coming for the spot. Like I'm not going to come here and train and watch the show. I'm going to be on the show. I'm going to have the best match on the show. I want to main event the show. You know what I mean? That's
and you're
my mentality.
More of would you consider yourself a ring general? Like you can operate inside a ring.
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
can lead the matches. You know exactly what's going on. Like you're not going to make mistakes out there.
Well, we all do.
You do, but
we all do.
I watch Botchamania. I've seen that, but
I can control
everything.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and that's what helped me rise up quick there, because
yes, you did.
Usually you're in developmental and you're there for months before they ever even give you a dark match, before they give you anything. And same thing, I was there for only a couple of weeks and now I'm already on the show. You know what I mean? And I just kept flowing through everything. Like I went from just a new kid on the block to being in storylines to now I'm hitting Bill DeMont in the back with a chair on the show. The one thing that every single developmental guy wanted to do was hit the coach with the chair. And I was the one who was able to do it. You know what I mean? Like, so I just
lay it in.
But I went after it. I made sure that I was the best wrestler there.
Yeah.
I know I didn't have the best body. I wasn't an Adonis like all these other people.
I think they had to get away from that. The body thing was in the 80s, and all the muscle heads that tried out.
But it was still their thing.
They didn't succeed.
Still their thing.
I know Vince loves it, but yeah.
So I just wanted to be the best wrestler. I wanted to be undeniable because of talent.
Right. And you had a great class you were with too.
Oh yeah. All Hall of Famers. They're all going to be Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
It's the whole current, lifeline of the business, basically. So we had a bunch of guys that were no wrestling experience at all.
None.
Those guys are easy to leave in the dust, you
Right.
know, in
Right.
my mind, you know what I mean? Like I wasn't worried about this guy. He doesn't even know how to take a
Yeah.
bump, you know. But a couple of those guys ended up succeeding. Like Jack Swagger was one of those guys. He came with no experience, went
He
right into
did.
WWE. So it's like guys like me, I didn't necessarily have it because I understand the game. I understand that wrestling changes and the wants and needs, it changes throughout the years. And this is what they want right now. They want high profile athletes coming out of college. They don't want grizzled vets who think they know it all.
No, they definitely don't. I mean, they're giving NIL deals now
Right.
to guys.
Right. So that was
And,
the weird balance that we were going through at that time, is that they were still doing the new guys and they were still signing indie guys. You know what I mean? Then they started signing less and less indie guys as the years went on, and now you have to be a gymnast in college to get looked at.
correct.
You're coming from a pedigree.
No, I've read that. I read that because I love listening to Jim Cornette. He cracks me up. He was saying, like, when Johnny Laurinaitis was kind of in charge of talent relations, he was trying to bring in, more models, more people who did not have experience.
Right.
He thought he could bring in, the good looking people and train them to wrestle, and quickly found out that may not have been the best formula for doing so.
Right. Well, it worked for some.
It did work for some.
For
yes.
the others, so here's the problem: is when you have two guys that don't know how to wrestle and they don't know what they're doing, and they're just, they're novice. They're Spanish 101 people. They're just learning how to habla español, and now you want them on shows speaking in front of Spanish people. It's not going to work.
No.
You know what I mean? So it's like you need us, indie guys to lead the blind, and
Right,
that's something
exactly.
that is old school training that they don't teach nowadays. Like in these new
No.
schools, they're teaching you moonsaults on day 3. You know what I'm saying? They're not teaching you the ring psychology and why we do this and why we do that, and you know what I mean? Like it's you got to really look into your training nowadays.
Who were your favorite guys to work with when you were in FCW?
In FCW, man, I had my crew. I loved wrestling TJ Tyson Kidd. He was my number one. Me and him just had chemistry from day one, instant chemistry. Like we never had to call anything. Like we just knew each other, and we could work with each other and flow with each other so good. I loved wrestling Heath Slater. I loved wrestling with Primo Colon. You know what I mean? Like I loved wrestling Kofi. Even though Kofi was stiff. I mean, mind you, Kofi was really stiff. Kofi was stiff.
Trouble in Paradise.
That New Englander, it's a New England thing, but Kofi was stiff. That Trouble in Paradise kick was stiff.
Yeah.
I would always tell him about it. But yeah, no, I loved working those guys. But at the time, I was just trying to run circles around everybody.
Well, yeah, obviously.
That's what I was trying to do. So, but those guys, they stood out to me as far as their talents goes, because Heath, we loved Heath. So Heath was a non-contract guy through Deep South. Him and Fandango, they were non-contract, so they were basically training with us as our bump guys.
Right.
So they were our bump guys, but we took a liking to them. So we all, as a group, basically wanted to go out of our way and get these guys jobs, and then
you gave them stuff. Yeah. So you were there, and then it was 2008 when you got called up to the WWE. Mm-hmm. So, you got called up relatively fast.
Yeah.
And I don't think this, from what I've read, your lineage and your name, I don't think that had anything to do with you being pushed or called up.
I don't think so neither.
I think you earned it on your own.
Yeah, absolutely. Because there's been others, since and before me that didn't quite make it. You know what I mean? And I grinded, man. I was going so hard in developmental, because to me it was an indie that they were growing, and that was something that I always did with my dad. We owned WXW, so we were always trying to grow it and reach that next level and get more fans in the door. So I understood that hustle very well. And I think that's what made me excel on footage, on camera, when the office and stuff would watch back the footage and be like, whoa, who the hell is this kid? He's really going in, because I knew how to do it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I had that Philly. I was wrestling in ECW arena before I ever signed with WWE, so it was just like I knew how to get over. And And I just took that mentality and took it into the WWE,
And
which was kind of crazy because my dad always told me, he goes, son, don't ever stop what got you there. Remember what got you there.
yes,
Because people, they get to the dance and then they conform and then they become a cookie cutter of something that they're
you're
not.
absolutely right.
You know what I
They're
mean?
all the
So
same.
I always stayed true to who I was and what my goals were. And, it worked out for the most part. I ended up becoming FCW champion for a while.
Yep.
We had the first ever ladder match in FCW. You know what I mean? Like we had a lot of cool things that we were doing before I ended up getting the call up.
Did they give you any creative input in FCW to do certain things you wanted to do? Obviously, because you had the experience for it. If you thought a certain spot was going to work in a certain area, you did have some creative input.
I had a little bit of creative input. Not much, because at the end of the day, they're going to do what they got to do. But part of our job in FCW was to send ideas to creative.
Okay.
So, like how to insert yourself on Monday Night Raw. Basically, we're doing creative's job for them. You know what I mean? So like we had to make it easy for them. Let them read something. Maybe they could work with this. Maybe they can't. You know what I mean? So it was always a constant. After practice, go home and think of an idea how to insert
what you
yourself
want to
into
do
the program right now. So one of my ideas that we came up with was a faction called I called it the Uprising.
Yes.
Which ultimately ended up becoming the Legacy. It was a bunch of disgruntled second generation guys who were tired of waiting and they wanted to take their push now. So that was the whole general backstory of the Legacy, or the Uprising, as I wrote it. And it got all the way pushed to Vince, and Vince loved the idea of this thing. However, the players ended up changing along the way.
Okay.
Vince loved the idea so much, he ended up recasting it with his picks. You know what I mean? Like it was supposed to be like me, Cody, Ted DiBiase Jr. You know what I mean? Carlito was supposed to be our leader because we wanted the mid card guys, not necessarily world champions.
Right.
But Vince wanted to give us instant credibility, so he put Orton in the group.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And but yeah, so we ended up coming up with that
so
idea.
You came up with the Legacy originally. Wow.
And they dissected it. So the whole original Legacy plan was we were supposed to go in and nexus the ring. Like
that was supposed to tear it all down.
Yeah, we were going to tear it down because it made sense, because we're the ones who built it. Our fathers and everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the business was built on our family members' backs.
On your backs.
We're taking what's ours, and that was the whole thing. So they ended up dissecting one idea and making it into 2 or 3 different future factions.
Yeah, they watered it down a little bit.
Yeah.
But it eventually started out, and Randy Orton, I believe, was the leader. And then it was Cody and DiBiase.
Yep.
And then you came in.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's how it
didn't officially become the Legacy until I came in.
Until you came in, right?
So it was like DiBiase and Rhodes, they just won the tag team titles or something like that from Crime Time or something like that. Around this time, Orton was just coming off of his second shoulder injury. I believe he just fell off a motorcycle or something like that and was coming off of an injury. So they wanted to get him back on TV somehow.
Right.
And then when I got on board, it was like that's when they put us all together at once. And that was at Unforgiven. So I did do that Unforgiven.
Was that the CM Punk?
Yeah, that's when we jumped CM Punk.
You knocked him out of the match, right?
Yeah. And then he ended up
that was awesome.
Title that night. And then I ran in on Crime Time that night. And that was in not Chicago, Cleveland. That was in Cleveland. So, yeah, man, that was a great time. Because you hear stories, because guys get the call up all the time, and then you're standing in Gorilla, and then they cancel your debut. You know what I mean? So it was just like, I'm in Gorilla. I'm waiting for my moment. I'm waiting for the green light. You know, we didn't do much walkthrough. Like we did all these pre-tapes and stuff like that before the actual live moment. So I didn't know if they were airing that or anything like that, because you don't know in the back.
Yeah.
So now I see that they're starting to air stuff, and then now I'm in Gorilla. It's time to go. And then they gave me the green light, bro, and I hit it like a 40-yard dash. I wish I would have slowed down. If I could go back and run it again, I think I would have stopped and Jeff Hardy'd a little bit or something. Milk the moment a little bit.
I remember he did that in AEW while his brother was getting beat up.
Yeah.
That was hilarious. So you got there. I mean, once you got your running, I mean, and you're part of the WWE, did you think at that time, I've made it. I made it to the show,
Oh, yeah.
or did you still think there's work to do?
Oh, man, it was like half and half. It was just like a little bit of yes, all right, we're here now. You know what I mean? But it just happened so fast because
Did
I debuted on a pay-per-view. Usually they limp the new guys in. You know what I mean? They're ease
yeah,
you guys in. They'll give you a house show here or there. Like I literally only had 2 matches in the WWE sized crowd. Like I wrestled on Sunday Night Heat one time. I wrestled Hacksaw once, and I did one house show match against Super Crazy before this. Like so, I had
wow,
no experience in big 10,000 plus seat
yeah,
arenas like that, or very limited. You know what I
yeah,
mean? But I was comfort. My comfort zone was the
yeah,
ring. You know what I mean? I would be able to block all those people out, and I was able to execute. And like my whole thing was being aggressive and making it look real. I always wanted to just be the realest wrestler
physical, yeah,
on the show. I wanted
100%.
everybody to question because it was at the time where the curtains are kind of getting pulled back a little bit, and the magic is getting revealed. And I wanted to preserve the magic my way by, oh yeah, wrestling's fake or whatever. But off his match, he was really getting them. And
Yes,
that was kind of just my goal then.
yeah. Keep kayfabe alive, and I always say the same thing because I mean it's as physical and demanding as you can get. I mean it's not easy at all. It's one of the most difficult things to pull off with somebody else and have a good match. And as I said, elicit the emotion that you want from the crowd. You're taking them from a roller coaster up and down, and you got to know what you're doing to have that psychology. And
Oh, yeah.
you had it ingrained in you. I mean, since you were 14 years old. I mean, you were trained all the way through, so you had all that experience. I had always felt the legacy angle could have got. I mean, I felt they watered it down. I felt it really had legs and could have been stronger, and they kind of moved away from it. I thought a little too soon.
Yeah.
Where they had guys, they had talent that could have been special, but I know Vince was more against factions,
Yeah.
so maybe that's why he did it. But I thought you guys operated fantastic as a group, and you had a ton of talent and different types of talent.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing that was the beauty that made it. It was a mix of people. It was,
Yes.
you know what I mean? But then it became more of, I don't want to say the pretty white boy group, but it became the pretty white boy group.
It did.
Where then now I'm looking at it like, oh, well, why is this guy in there? You know what I mean? Like if you're a fan and you know your business, you know why I'm there. But from the first time person clicking through the channel, it's like, oh, who's that big guy? Why is he there? You know what I mean? And it became more of that. I was basically brought in there because Vince loved the idea of the legacy. And
what you created. That's amazing.
Yeah. And that's why it fell apart too, is once they got rid of me out of the the picture, they didn't know what to do with it because it wasn't theirs.
Yeah, because you were the architect of it.
It wasn't theirs, So I feel like my purpose at the end of the day was to go in there and teach Cody how to be aggressive, because he lacked that severely when I was prior to me being there.
Right. And you were there until, was it the fall of 2008 when you ended up leaving?
Yeah, it was right before the Rumble.
Okay. Were you surprised that they ended up releasing you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
because there was, creatively, we were supposed to walk into WrestleMania that year and take all the straps.
Right.
Ted and Cody were supposed to win the tag titles. I was supposed to be Intercontinental Champion, and Randy was supposed to be World Champion, WWE Champion, whatever champion it was at the time.
You're saying for the 2008?
Yeah, for that Mania.
Oh my God!
Houston. It was in Houston. We already had our tickets booked and everything for Houston, because you have to get that stuff done pretty early in the year.
Correct.
Yeah. So. Yeah, it just came out of nowhere. It was, all right, you're not needed. Okay, now we're going to send you back to FCW, repackage you, and then you're just sitting at home. You know what I mean? And it was just, all right.
Did they end up trying to send you back to FCW?
They said that that's what they were going to do. It just never happened.
Right. So the one thing that, you were able to do, you built just an incredible career outside of the WWE.
Yeah.
You've wrestled for so many different promotions. You had your own promotion that you learned. And I mean, how did you learn how to kind of promote and book and, put together matches and put together guys,
Um,
create angles? Because that's hard.
yeah. So I had the best teacher, man, my dad.
Yeah,
I was
right.
able to. So my dad, he was the whole architect of this whole bloodline,
Oh my
and
God.
he's the one. He's the one. He's
The
without my
bloodline
dad.
story with Roman and the
Yeah.
Usos. Oh my
Yes.
God.
Without my father, there is no bloodline. Like he's the one that held it down. Like, yes, Peter Maivia was the one who taught my dad, et cetera, but my dad is the one who passed it down to the family. My
Right.
dad is the one who, you know, carried the whole torch. He was the first one, like one of the first wrestling schools in all of the world.
And they've trained some of the best wrestlers that have
But he
existed
was the
today.
one who had the vision
Yeah.
for all of us. So
Wow.
and he was my dad. So I was a little kid playing with my Legos and shit like that while my dad's booking shows, with top, with Bruno Sammartino and stuff like that. This is when my dad, before he became a head shrinker again, he was running a company called Trans World Wrestling Federation, TWWF. And that was tied into the Wild Samoan Training Center, and he would just run local shows, like independent shows back in the day. But like on those shows, you would see Owen Hart wrestle Yokozuna. You would see Gangrel versus Savio Vega. Like, you know what I mean? Like these are WWE shows. You would see Bruno Sammartino be the guest commentator. You would see all these world class wrestlers, on just small shows. So I watched my dad build his indie from nothing.
From the ground up,
from the backyard to, being able to train guys like Billy Kidman and Canyon and seeing guys like The Undertaker and Bam Bam Bigelow come in and work out, and next thing you know, The Rock's here, you know what I mean? And like everybody's just running through the system. But it was my dad. He was the one who put it all together. He laid out the puzzle pieces and figured out how to draw the picture. And I was able to watch them all. I was able to sit there and I watched my dad, and I would always be interested in the business. I'd ask my dad, so why don't you, I like this guy, Dad. Why don't you make him do this? And he'd explain it to me. Well, son, you can't do that yet because, if we do that, he's not going to be able to handle this, which is going to happen later. You know what I mean? So I kind of understood how they test people in the wrestling game to make sure that you could handle the pressure and the spotlight, So, and then with the storylines and stuff like that, my dad would always have his creative team, much like the WWE has. So I watched everything, and I was like,
but he always had the final decision over what was done.
My dad would basically be Vince of his company. Yes. You know what I'm saying? And then when I signed with WWE, what's happening? We're in FCW, and they're building one all over again. And now that I'm FCW champion, they're building it on my back the same way my dad did when he rebranded to WXW. So it was very familiar territories. So like also at the same time, mind you, when I was in FCW, I wasn't necessarily there to learn how to wrestle. I was there to learn the business.
Exactly.
So I was watching what the coaches were doing, how they were maneuvering, who they're talking to, how they're training people, because they have to build the territory. They have to get the school up and running. They have to control 100 contracted wrestlers at the same time. You know what I mean? There's a lot of moving parts to it. So I was watching who they brought in from the outside.
Right.
It's not always just all in-house. You need your outside help. And I kind of learned from watching my dad build his independent, and then I learned from watching the WWE build FCW from the ground up. So then when I came out of the WWE and it was my turn to start the battlefield, man, I just took it all and took it everything that I could from my learnings from my dad, watching him, and learning from WWE, watching them, and here we are.
Exactly. And do you also train people as well?
Yeah.
When you have time for it?
Oh yeah. So I train people 3 days a week. We have a full-time facility down here in the Poconos. You know what I mean? I've been training people since COVID.
Right.
So I had a weird premonition that the world was going to come back. And while everything else was shutting down in the world, I decided to open up a gym.
Well, no, that was smart. People were looking for things to do. They didn't want to sit inside anymore.
So we were the first ones to run in the state of Pennsylvania shows and stuff like that during the COVID years. But I started training then. So I had to proceed cautiously because my brother, Samu, head shrinker Samu, he had a training center in Allentown. My dad had his training center down in Florida.
Oh,
My
so you
cousin,
all had
my
different ones.
cousin
Okay.
had the training center in California. My other cousin has one in Hawaii. So everybody had their training center, but I lived in Pennsylvania too. So it was just like, damn it, my older brother is here. I can't move yet. I can't do anything yet. My brother's still here and he's still running. So then my brother, during COVID, he decided that he was going to shut it down um, for COVID or whatever. And then there was talks of him, with his health and stuff like that, of him moving to Florida. And once I found out that he was thinking about moving to Florida, I just made the move and jumped and opened up shop and looked into buying rings.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
for
To
sure.
get things going. But I started as just like a day camp where it was like an open ring for wrestlers to come and train with me. You know
Right.
what I mean? All right, I called it seasoning. Let me season you to get you ready for
Let's
TV
see what
kind
you,
of deal.
yeah, absolutely.
So it wrestling, what it was when my dad was training to what it's become prior to the battlefield was crazy. Like it
Yeah.
was, I felt like everybody and anybody would be a wrestler. They all had school.
Everyone,
It was
yeah, everyone's got a school.
nobody had a good resume. Like you were just trained by, Tommy Jones down the street. You know what I mean? And like
Yeah.
the biggest match he's ever wrestled was Tim the Shovel Man. And you know what I mean? Like, come on, man. So it's like the first thing I asked all these wrestlers is like, yo, who trained you?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it's just like, because if we don't check them and check their degrees and stuff like that, man,
No, they'll get
the
someone
wrestling
hurt.
it's gonna get out of control, you know?
And I know you also had a health issue in 2023, something with your heart.
Yeah,
That must have been difficult for you to go through.
very, very
What
difficult.
was when did you start to notice that you were having issues?
So I was on tour in 2017. So the first issue was in
Oh,
2017.
wow.
We kind of kept it wrapped. We kept it quiet. But yeah, 2017, I was on tour in South Africa. And I came back from South Africa and I was just, really light, of short of breath.
Gassed, yeah.
Being gassed, like just doing dumb shit, like walking up the steps. I'm gassed.
Yeah.
I just got off tour. This shouldn't be the case, But I was so I went and got checked out, and sure enough, my heart was cooked.
It wasn't
It was
operating.
yeah. I had AFib, you know what I mean, and that
Yes.
led into more complications, and I had a blood clot in my heart too. So it was like, and that was at the same time Kimbo Slice got
He
sick.
died. Yeah.
We had basically the same stuff. We went in the hospitals at the same time. Not the same hospital, but you know what I
Right.
mean? We went in with the same stuff, and it was crazy because he ended up not coming out of it. You know what I mean? And that was a real eye opener for me. But
Were you conscious the whole time?
yeah. I
Okay.
didn't go down or anything like that. I was just not feeling well.
You were just laboring. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because I
never
read
had
that
like a
you're
massive heart attack or anything like that, bro.
Yeah.
If you read online, it said that I died.
Well, no, I know there was I did see an obituary, but I know your heart was operating at like 35%.
Oh, less than that.
I mean, it ended up dropping lower than that. Wow.
8%. Like we were operating really low at a real low percentage.
So how are they able to get it back up?
I got shocked. I call it shocked, like cardioverted or whatever.
Oh,
you know
yes,
what I'm saying?
yes.
So I've had that 2 or 3 times now. I'm not supposed to wrestle.
Right. No, I figured, but I mean, you've still competed in like 6-mans and tags and different things. I mean, you're still out there.
I still do it. You know what I mean? It's hard for me because literally it's all I know. I've been in this business my entire life.
Your life. Yeah.
And the doctors that are sitting there arguing with me, like, you got to find a new lifestyle or whatever.
Yeah, I'm going to go sell real estate. Sure.
I was like, hey, doc, why don't you go get a new job?
Yeah.
Like,
go see how you do.
I was like, I have my doctorate in wrestling. Like,
yes.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm degreed up. I have my resume. I've spent my life doing this. What am I?
It's your life's work.
What am I supposed to do? So it's just one of those decisions where I had to make, and I decided that I have to continue the legacy. You know what I mean?
And you are. And I mean,
I took myself off a full-time schedule now.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I'm 40 years old now. I don't need to be out there all the time. But I'm off the full-time schedule, but I still travel.
You still compete and you still travel.
I still do it. But my focus now is training.
Exactly.
I want to train this younger generation. I
and
want
the right way.
A safe place to train, and that's the whole thing is safety in wrestling, because
No,
a
I
lot
know.
of trainers, they take advantage of people. It's a money grab. It's a cash grab.
It is.
You'll come in, you'll train for 6 months. They'll send you out on the road, and you don't know what the hell you're doing. The
Right.
coaches don't help you. I try to do it more old school, the way my father did it. I'll hold your hand and walk you in the back door myself if I have to. If that's what it takes to get you a job, we'll do that. You know what I mean? And it's just, I want to give the people a credible place to train. And when it comes to running shows, is I want to be able to give them TV quality product that they could be inserted into FCW or NXT now, or whatever the case may be, whatever program that they have, that they could insert them guys in right now. So like we had a lot of guys signed, like Casey Navarro. He's one of ours. Lance Anoia, he came from us. You know what I mean? Well, obviously Samoa trained, his dad trained him, but he had his last independent match with us. Jacob Fatu had his last independent match with us. You know what I mean? Like we're getting a lot of guys rolling through our place, and we've only been open since COVID.
Yeah.
So
how many students would you say you have now?
Now currently training, we're about 25 to 30 students currently training right now. We've had it all the way up to 50, 60 students, but wrestling isn't for everybody, and a lot of those people end up falling off or trying their thing in other camps and stuff like that, the easier camps.
Do you have anyone else who helps you with training?
Oh yeah, we have.
Yeah,
I built a system. You know what I mean? Okay. So I have my guys internally that could take. Bro, we've run shows without me.
No, I read about them. Yeah.
Yeah, we've run shows without me there. Like we're a machine now. I'm capable of running shows in multiple states at the same time on the same day. Like we'll get it done. It's wrestling. We got this.
I was always curious, and you don't have to answer, but when they did start the Bloodline storyline, did they ever talk with you about possibly coming in?
I mean, it makes too much sense.
That's what I thought. I was like, come on.
So invested with Cody and everybody and the Bloodline and everything like that. However,
because you have history with everyone.
Yeah, I've been booked a couple times. So like WrestleMania 40, what was it? The one in Philly. So I was hosting a WrestleMania watch party for night one. And then while I was there, I ended up getting a call that I got booked for WrestleMania night 2. So I was just like, oh shit, here we go. So they sent me all the paperwork. I'm in ECW arena.
Oh my God.
Signing the contracts and stuff like that for my one night appearance. I get there and nothing ended up happening.
Plans changed.
So now I'm just sitting there eating catering.
You're catering. Oh my
God.
No,
there's been talks a couple times, but nothing ever happened with me.
Yeah, because I figured that they would do something, with The Rock coming back and the Usos, and especially with Cody chasing. And that night, how everyone attacked them, I was thinking that they were going to have you show up, and obviously you were in the plan too.
Well, that's crazy. Night, they had me. It was myself, Lance Anoia, and Jacob Fatu all booked at WrestleMania 40. We were all there,
ready to go. Oh my God. There.
You know what I mean? The whole Bloodline was there back at WrestleMania 40. We were there.
And they freaking changed it. That just blows my mind. No, they had to have him there. You're right. So really now your focus, you train and you promote your shows.
Yep.
You're out of the Poconos.
Yep.
Do you go to Hazleton at all? Anymore?
I haven't been there in years. Okay, I mean? But we're able to go wherever we want in Pennsylvania and wrestle.
Do you have any of your shows? Do they stream?
Yes.
On a website? Okay.
So we used to stream when we first started. We were streaming on Premier Streaming Network. They ended up going down. So right now we're currently re-uploading everything onto our YouTube platform.
Your YouTube channel.
Yeah, our YouTube channel. So everything is now going back to the Battlefield YouTube channel. And we're in the process of now. So we just got, partner status or whatever. We're able to go live and stuff like that on YouTube. So
huge. Okay.
We just bought some new switchers and live switchers and stuff like that. So everything we do is in-house. I will teach you how to be a cameraman. I will teach you literally everything you need to know about wrestling. You can learn at my place. I give it to you like the TV format. I teach you how to ref, ring announce, like ring a bell, dude. Like I could teach you how to promote.
You do it all.
We do it all here, All
right, well that's perfect. Then in the show notes, I'll definitely put your YouTube channel, so people can watch.
Yeah.
And if people wanted to contact you for training purposes, is it best to email you? Is there a website?
Yeah, no, we don't even have a website, man. We've been
So email you.
yeah,
Okay.
email me, DM me, get on social media,
Yeah.
find me. But yeah, we don't even have the website, man. We've been steadily growing. It was just like, man, I feel like if I put a
Well,
website out
yeah.
there, we'll have too many.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean it's expensive, and if you have the YouTube channel, that's fine. The YouTube channel is perfect. That's what we use for our podcasts, and we've grown it. Now we have 1.4 million subscribers.
That is awesome.
So it's something that you can easily grow over time, and that's why I'll make sure that this gets out, and you'll get a lot of viewership from this.
Right on.
So
we appreciate that. We need it. We're brand new. I feel like our product is so different. Like we are
that's great, though.
I don't want to sound cliche and say that we're ECW, from back in the day. However, we're ECW from back in the day, man. We're so like tapped into the roots of what independent wrestling is and then it's supposed to be. It's now like, to me, you will ruin an independent card. Like, I don't care if you have Ric Flair on your show, you will ruin it if the opening match is 2 backyarders.
You're right. You're 100% right.
You know what I mean? Like, you have to preserve these things and preserve the show, and
you know how to build a card properly to get to that crescendo at the end.
Oh yeah, we did a storyline with Casey Navarro and Matt Cardona here, and I fully believe that is what put Casey on the national level. Like, that's
absolutely
that we gave him with Cardona, and this was Cardona when he was white hot, like fresh out of COVID.
Yes,
you know what I mean. And
he was on fire.
And now Casey's getting the call up to NXT, and he's all over the place right now. So it's a beautiful thing to see these kids go out there.
Well, yeah, you made a difference. Just for my edification, between WWE, TNA, NXT, AEW, who do you think is doing it the best? Well, obviously the WWE is doing it best. Who do you prefer to watch if you're going to watch?
I'm watching the Battlefield. I live in a bubble, bro. I get it. I keep up to date with them.
All that.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm in such a Battlefield bubble where, guys would be like, "Oh, did you see what your cousins are doing?" I was just like, "No, smarten me up because I have no clue what they're doing."
Right.
However, but when I do have time to watch, it's WWE. I've always been loyal to the WWE. I find their product more enjoyable just because it's how I was raised. We're raised in the North. It's not like my dad ever jumped ship and went to WCW or anything like that. My brothers did a little bit, but I was always focused on WWE and sports. You know what I mean? So,
and can people get merchandise at the shows too?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You can get merchandise. You can meet all the wrestlers. It's a great time over here.
All right, so we'll definitely promote Battlefield. We'll put the YouTube channel on, and I want to get a shirt too, so that's great. But wow, that is an incredible story, an incredible journey. I'm so glad that your health is improved and you're able to do a little bit, but you're focused on training the next generation the right way, which is sorely needed. Because super kick after super kick and moonsault and kick out of this finisher, kick out of that finisher. I get it. It's too much. And you guys,
and it's only getting faster now.
It's
like, so you got to be able to evolve. So now we're, the days of the 60-minute Broadways are gone.
They are.
As much as I love those days are gone.
Yeah.
Now a 20-minute match will feel like 60.
Absolutely.
And you have to be really good 20 just to keep
the fans.
For that, so we have to adjust and we have to adapt. And I feel like we're able to do that here because I understand that we're in a TikTok reel kind of setting now. It's like we got to get in and get out. And I'm able to teach these kids how to really increase the speed without losing the emotion. You know what I mean? So it's
which is huge.
They're able to get a lot in their 5 minutes.
Yes, and keep the fans engaged. Yep. Well, congratulations on everything you've accomplished. We'll put the YouTube channel up for sure, and we'll have anyone email you who's interested. And
we got a show this Sunday.
Oh, you
This
go promote the
Sunday.
show
We got a
Sunday.
show
All
this
right.
Sunday. It's called Summer Swivel and it's live in Broadheadsville, Pennsylvania.
Beautiful, beautiful.
You
We'll
know.
watch it. We'll watch it on YouTube Live.
There
That'll
we
be
go.
great.
There we go.
That'll be great. Congratulations to you. I'm sure your father would be so proud of everything you're doing with the training and running your own promotion. That is just the greatest accomplishment.
It's turning me gray, but we're here.
You can always color it. That's what I do. That's what I do. So for Afa, thank you so much for being on Husky Talk and sharing your experiences. I'll send you the link and I will put the YouTube channel in the notes and make sure people know about the show Sunday.
Right on.
So I just have to mention Ned Von Young, Fresh Fold Laundry Company, Chapel Hill, North Carolina. He has a pickup service with a 20-mile radius. You bring your clothes out, they come, they get them, they bring them back, wash, dry, and fold them, land speed records, and you can have an online subscription service, weekly or bi-weekly. They'll do your laundry however many times a week you want it done. They have deals for college students as well. Just go to www.freshfold-laundry.com. So for AFA, I'm Steve Cully, the best podcast host in the universe. Remember, when life gives you lemons, they'll make lemonade. Take 2 oranges, throw them right back at life.